I stood here 20 years ago and I defeated Labour in one of the most historic election results of the last 50 years. And I did it with you. Miss Anna is maybe too young to know that on the back of that election result, we elected more than a dozen councillors here in Tower Hamlets. We put through a referendum so that the Tower Hamlets people could directly elect their own mayor. Yeah. That was us that did that, Anna. The last time I was in here was with His Worship the Mayor, Lutfur Rahman. When Labour were trying to destroy him, I came here to stand by his side. We changed politics in Tower Hamlets. I gave an undertaking before I was elected in Bethnal Green and Bow that I would stand only once and I would make way for Britain's first Bengali MP. And I kept that promise. I kept that promise. Unfortunately, it was the wrong Bengali MP. And we're still paying the price for it.
Boycott him, boycott him.
Una King voted to slaughter the children of Iraq. Rushanara Ali refused to vote to stop the slaughter of the Palestinian children in Gaza. That is the truth of it. She refused. And she said nothing about the attack on our own people. I'm coming back to Gaza in a minute. What kind of Bangladeshi MP will not condemn her own leaders' gratuitous attack on our own people? What kind of Bengali MP is that? Somebody asked me, why did Starmer do this? I'll tell you why he did it. It's a very murky, not so secret. He did it because he was determined to chase Nigel Farage down the drain into the sewer of racist politics, singling out minority communities for cheap votes. That's why he did it. It wasn't clumsy. You liar, Starmer. You didn't misspeak. As Brother Ajmal said, you said it 4 times. You mentioned a country which doesn't have one single person waiting for deportation. Why did you mention it? Not once, but 4 times. And if it was a mistake, why did your right-hand man, Ashworth, say exactly the same words? This was a deliberate targeting of the Bangladeshi people for a number of reasons. Some of them are not great. Maybe he thought the Bangladeshis were so peaceful, so law-abiding, that they would take it on the chin. Well, they are law-abiding. I've looked at the jail statistics. There's only 346 Bangladeshis in the British prison system. There are tens of thousands of Albanians. He didn't mention Albanians, he mentioned you. Maybe he thought that you were the weakest link. Maybe he thought that you would take it on the chin.
Never.
Well, you may be law-abiding. You certainly are peaceful. But all of you have got votes. And on Thursday, you have to vote Labour out everywhere. perfectly peacefully, within your rights, you have to vote Labour out on Thursday. I tell you, if he'd said what he said about you, about some of the Pakistani people that I run around with, there would have been very serious trouble already. Labour councillors that pretended to be Pakistanis, Labour MPs that pretended to be Pakistanis, they would have been forced to resign on their own doorsteps by a large crowd of angry constituents. But you don't do things that way. But that doesn't mean that you should let them away with it. Because if you let them away with it, Ajmal might need that piece of land that he's held on to in Bangladesh. Even though he's not allowed to go there, he might have no choice. If you let them away with it, who's next? Is it Pakistanis next? Somalis next? Who is it that's next? These racist dog whistles that Starmer was engaging in, by definition, have no end. Because Farage will always undercut you, he'll always go further. He'll always have a new demand against the immigrant communities here in Britain. And so Starmer, having started out chasing him on that downward spiral, will have to continue it. And then we'll have serious trouble in this country. And that's exactly what we don't want. I said I'd come back to Gaza.